right? So that was incomplete sex linkage. Where are the genes found on the homologous parts of the X and Y chromosome, and what are the diseases concerning them called as total color blindness, retinitis pigmentosa, and nephritis. Then we have something called complete sex linkage. Completely sex-linked genes are located on the non-homologous region of the X and Y chromosome. So sir, X and Y chromosome के non-homologous region के ऊपर जो genes होते हैं, these do not undergo crossing over. इनके बीच में crossing over नहीं होता है, so they will always inherit in the same pattern together. तो X क्रोमोसोम के जीन्स हमेशा इनहेरिट होंगे, Y क्रोमोसोम के जीन्स हमेशा इनहेरिट होंगे as X and Y chromosome, because these genes don't undergo crossing over. And what is that linkage called as? Complete sex linkage. So X and Y non-homologous regions and homologous regions के genes crossover हो सकते हैं, and that is called as incomplete sex linkage. Non-homologous regions के genes crossover नहीं हो सकते हैं, so that is called as incomplete sex linkage. So what are the example of complete sex linked genes? So complete sex linkage on the non-homologous region of the X chromosome, there are genes for rhodopsin, iodopsin, vitreous humor, clotting factor 8. Excellent logic, ध्यान से सुनना. If gene for rhodopsin becomes mutated, then the mutated gene for rhodopsin से rods के अंदर pigment नहीं बन पाएगा, so the rods become non-functional. This person cannot see at night and will suffer from night blindness. Or if the gene has iodopsin and iodopsin gene becomes mutated, so cones will not function properly, means this person will have color blindness. Or if vitreous humor gene undergoes a mutation, तो लेंस ऑफ द आई के अंदर विट्रियस ह्यूमर नहीं आ पाएगा, एंड दैट पर्सन विल डेवलप myopia, what I am having. And clotting factor 8, if the gene undergoes a mutation, then that means clotting factor 8 नहीं बनेगा, a person will get a cut and will bleed to death. He will have continuous bleeding क्योंकि clotting factor 8 available नहीं है, so blood will not clot, and this disease is called as hemophilia. So sir, rhodopsin mutated, night blindness, iodopsin mutated, color blindness, vitreous humor gene mutated, myopia, clotting factor 8 gene mutated, hemophilia, and these are the different genes which are linked together, complete sex linkage, and are called as X-linked genes. And on the non-homologous region of the Y chromosome, we have genes which will form hairy pinna. And hairy pinna is a disease called as hypertrichosis. What is that called as? Hypertrichosis. And hypertrichosis is a hairy pinna disease which will be inherited as the Y chromosome. So what is that kind of inheritance called as? Complete sex linkage. So sir, which are the examples of incomplete sex linkage? Total color blindness, retinitis pigmentosa, nephritis, and that is incomplete sex linkage. And what is complete sex linkage genes called as? X chromosome pe we have genes for color blindness, hemophilia, myopia, and night blindness. And third, for Y chromosome we have diseases like hypertrichosis. Then we go into a very nice experiment that Morgan had done to show linkage and recombination. Morgan carried out several dihybrid crosses in Drosophila to study genes that were sex-linked. These crosses were similar to dihybrid crosses carried out by Mendel in pea plants, and what did Morgan do? He hybridized yellow body, white-eyed female to brown body, red-eyed male and intercrop their F1 progeny. Yellow body and white-eyed female, when it is crossed with brown body and red-eyed male, F1 generation will show yellow body and white-eye. That is a dominant character. Now, F2 generation, what should happen if F1 is self to produce F2? We remember dihybrid cross of Mendel, you will get a phenotypic ratio of 9:3:3:1, of which 9 are dominant, so you should have 9 yellow body and white eye. You should have 3 yellow body and red eye. You should have 3 brown body and white eye, and you should have 1 brown bodied and red eye. तो सर ये करके 9:3:3:1 रेशियो आना चाहिए. 9 should be dominant, 3 should be dominant recessive, 3 should be recessive dominant, 1 should be recessive. We have done this in detail in Mendel. How many are parental phenotypes? 9 dominant, 1 recessive. And 3 and 3, 6 are new combinations. So they are recombinants, and 3 are dominant recessive, 3 are recessive dominant. So 9 plus 1, 10 are like parents, and 6 of them are new phenotypes. But sir, in case of pea plant, we will get 9 and 1, 10 parents, 3 and 3, 6 new phenotypes. But in case of Morgan's experiment, Morgan knew, और ये ध्यान से सुनना, genes were located on X chromosome close to each other. X chromosome के ऊपर the genes were located close to each other, and when the two genes were situated on the same chromosome, proportion of parental gene combination was much higher than non-parental type. Because these genes were linked on the X chromosome, which characteristic? Yellow body, white eye, to brown body, red eye. There were both genes for body color and eye color found on the X chromosome. And that is the reason उनके बीच में independent assortment नहीं हुआ. And you got majority offspring who were either yellow body and white eye or brown body and red eye. So majority were like parents. So offspring were majority like parents क्योंकि उनके बीच में linkage था. And because these genes were linked on the X chromosome, the majority F2 generation were either like dominant parent or like recessive parent, but recombinants were very less. So they were deviated away from the ratio of 9:3:3:1. Independent assortment between linked genes did not take place. And what were the conclusions? It was due to linkage of two genes that non-parental gene combination is described as recombination. So recombination के chances कम थे because of linkage of two genes. And sir, Morgan observed when genes are grouped on the same chromosome, some genes were very tightly linked. They showed low recombination, and others which are loosely linked showed higher recombination. अगर एक ही क्रोमोसोम पे दो जीन बहुत बाजू में होते हैं, तो even during crossing over, either none of the genes will cross over or both genes will cross over. तो इनके same recombination और combination next generation में आने की probability ज्यादा होती है. Because these genes are tightly present together on the same chromosome, either you will have both of them crossing over or none of them crossing over, means these two characteristics will remain tightly together and will show complete linkage. So इनका complete linkage होगा, तो what will the next generation F2 generation show? Majority parents or majority offsprings are like parents, तो उनके parentally combination होंगे, recombination नहीं होगा. Recombination नहीं होगा because these genes don't separate because they are very tightly linked together and उनके बीच में recombination नहीं होते हैं. हाँ, if genes are on the same chromosome but are situated far apart, then their chances of crossing over and separating from each other will increase. तो ये genes एक दूसरे से क्रॉस ओवर होके सेपरेट हो सकते हैं, तो रिकॉम्बिनेशन के चांसेस ज्यादा होते हैं. So if genes are tightly linked together, there is low recombination, or if they are loosely linked together, then there is high chance of recombination. For example, Morton studied white and yellow body and white eye and yellow body. White eye and yellow body genes were tightly linked together and showed a 1.3% recombination, while white and miniature wings were situated far apart and showed 37.2% recombination. So sir, let's see what did Morgan study. He took a cross A and a cross B. Cross A में he studied yellow and white, and in cross B he studied white and miniature. तो ये ध्यान से सुनना all of you. Yellow and white genes are situated close to each other, but white and miniature wings are situated far apart from each other on the same chromosome. ये बाजू में है और ये एक दूसरे से दूर है. And yellow white, when it was crossed with a white type means a normal color. So normal colors होते हैं, that is called wild type. Wild genes are called normal genes. So parents, when the cross A was done, yellow and white, in the next generation, F1 generation showed yellow and white. And yellow and white यहाँ पर आ गया, and उनके अंदर yellow white F1 generation में आया. Now when F1 generation was self-pollinated to produce F2 generation, white separated and yellow separated. तो white and yellow के बीच में क्रॉस ओवर हो गया and white and yellow separated, and that means this was a recombinant. What was the percentage of recombinant? Only 1.3% recombination हुआ. तो white and yellow का recombination कितना हुआ? Only 1.3% recombination, because white and yellow tend to remain together और उनका recombination बहुत कम होता है, and white and yellow एक दूसरे के साथ चिपके हुए ही रहते हैं. So you get more of parental genotype. Parental कितना मिलेगा आपको? 98.7%. So white and yellow 98.7 रहेगा, and white separate, yellow separate, recombinant कितना रहेगा? Only 1.3%. Similarly, if we do cross B, where we have white and miniature, F1 generation में we will get white and miniature. F2 generation में we get miniature on one strand and white on another strand, miniature on one strand and white on another strand. So sir, you have miniature white separating, that is called recombinant. So what is the probability of recombination? 37.2%. So 37.2% is white separate, miniature separate, white separate, miniature separate. And what is the parental type, sir? Where white and miniature remain together, is 62.8%. So beautiful observation we had. Yellow and white are tightly linked. So their separation, white yellow, chance of recombination is only 1.3%. And white and miniature are loosely linked, situated far apart from each other, and their separation, white miniature, and having recombination was 37.2%. So once again, if two genes are tightly linked, उनका recombination होके separate होना difficult होता है, and recombination chances are less if they are tightly linked. But if they are loosely linked on the same chromosome, then during crossing over, they may separate easily, and their chances of recombination will become high. So tightly linked will show higher parental phenotypes and very few recombinations. And if they are loosely linked, then there is a higher chance of crossing over and a greater probability of recombination. Fine, sir. And then we have sex-linked inheritance. Well, we just talked about it. और आपके notes में एक छोटा सा change कर देना है. So please make a small little change. Sex-linked inheritance, genes located on the non-homologous regions of chromosomes but not involved in sex determination are called sex-linked genes. Once again, genes located on the non-homologous region of the X and Y chromosome which are not involved with sex determination. Sex determination is done by homologous part of X and Y chromosome. So homologous part of X and Y chromosome will determine sex. Non-homologous के ऊपर we have genes for other characteristics, somatic characteristics. Their inheritance is called as sex-linked genes, and inheritance is called as sex-linked inheritance. So sir, the inheritance of non-homologous part of X and Y chromosome is called as a sex-linked inheritance. And sir, उसमें दो टाइप के sex-linked genes है, X-linked genes and Y-linked genes. X-linked or sex-linked genes are genes located on the non-homologous region of the X chromosome, and the X-linked genes have no corresponding allele on the Y chromosome. So once again, X chromosome के non-homologous region पे we have gene for rhodopsin, gene for iodopsin, gene for vitreous humor, gene for clotting factor A, and Y chromosome के ऊपर उसके corresponding allele नहीं है. यहाँ पर कौन सा जीन है? जीन for hairy pinna. So no gene for the gene found on the X chromosome. So non-homologous part of X chromosome के ऊपर we have genes which are different from genes found on the non-homologous part of the Y chromosome. And sir, अगर ये X chromosome में ये genes mutate हो गए, then the diseases formed due to it are called as X-linked diseases. X-linked diseases also called as sex-linked diseases. So समझो gene for rhodopsin mutates, then what will happen? Rods will not develop and night blindness will develop. Gene for iodopsin mutates, then the cones will not develop and color blindness will happen. Gene for vitreous humor will mutate, then vitreous humor will not form and myopia will happen. Gene for clotting factor 8 mutates and the person gets no clotting of blood, hemophilia happens. And all these diseases night blindness, color blindness, myopia, hemophilia are called as X-linked or sex-linked diseases. Question is, where will you find these diseases? Males or females? Now we would say, अगर X chromosome का genes है, तो they should be more common in females. But sir, females are lucky because when they inherit, they will inherit 2X chromosome. तो 2X chromosome है और दोनों के ऊपर genes for rhodopsin, iodopsin, vitreous tumor, clotting factor 8 है. And समझो, one chromosome, the gene undergoes a mutation. समझो, clotting factor 8 mutate हो गया. That means the mutated gene will now pass hemophilia. But the lady has got, or a girl child has got 2X chromosome. So sir, her other X chromosome has got normal gene for clotting factor 8. So sir, ये है 2X chromosome and इसके ऊपर gene for rhodopsin, gene for iodopsin, gene for clotting factor 8, gene for vitreous tumor और ये दूसरा वाला है gene for rhodopsin, gene for iodopsin, gene for clotting factor 8, gene for vitreous tumor. If gene for clotting factor 8 undergoes a mutation, then mutated gene is supposed to produce the hemophilia, but the normal gene on the other chromosome, will become dominant and the mutated gene will become recessive. So because there are 2X chromosomes, the normal gene, which is also called wild gene, the normal gene or wild gene will become dominant and the mutated gene will become recessive. So she will herself not suffer from hemophilia. Golden word, she will not suffer from hemophilia, but she will become a carrier for hemophilia. She will become a carrier because she has got one normal gene and one mutated gene for hemophilia. Normal gene will become dominant and mutated gene will become recessive. So she will herself become normal, but she will have the gene for hemophilia, so she is a carrier for hemophilia. Now this lady is a carrier, she is normal for color blindness. जब उसके gametes बनेंगे, one gamete will get X chromosome normal, other gamete will get Y X chromosome with gene for hemophilia, and that gene may in the next generation produce hemophilia. So she is a carrier and she is normal phenotypically, but she may form gametes and gamete के अंदर gene for hemophilia will pass to the next generation and the next generation child can suffer from hemophilia. So X-linked diseases are more easily mutated, but sir they become recessive in case of females. So females के अंदर a X-linked disease is normally a carrier state because the other X chromosome has got normal dominant gene and normal dominant gene will make the mutated gene become recessive and that means she will become a carrier. What about a male? Now he has got one X chromosome and one Y chromosome. और X chromosome पे gene for clotting factor 8 mutate हो गया, then what will happen sir? Mutated gene के सामने non-homologous region of Y chromosome पे corresponding allele नहीं है. So there is no wild normal gene. So one X chromosome, any mutated gene will always express itself and the male will always become a disease, X-linked disease person. So a male can be either normal or he can have a disease. A male is never a carrier. He will have either normal or he will have disease. तो उसको X-linked diseases होगी तो वो normal होगा या उसको X-linked disease होगी because there is no corresponding allele on the Y chromosome which will become dominant over the mutated gene. So beautiful statement in women because there are two X chromosomes. If one gene becomes mutated and causes an X-linked disease, say hemophilia, night blindness, color blindness, myopia, the other X chromosome has got normal gene and the normal gene becomes dominant over the mutated gene. So she will herself be phenotypically normal, but she will become a carrier for the disease. If it's a male, then he has got only one X chromosome and he has got Y chromosome. Y chromosome does not have genes for non-homologous part of X chromosome, so he will inherit only one X chromosome. Any mutation in the X chromosome means he will always inherit the X-linked disease. So X-linked diseases are more common in males compared to females. And genes found on the non-homologous region of the Y chromosome are called as Y-linked gene, also called as Hollandric gene. Hollandric, wholly in androecious. Wholly in androecious, only in males. तो सर Y क्रोमोसोम के ऊपर कोई भी जीन म्यूटेट हो गया तो उसको फीमेल में तो मिलेगा ही नहीं बिकॉज फीमेल इज गॉट XX क्रोमोसोम एंड Y क्रोमोसोम will definitely inherit from father to the next generation. तो father से son में, son से grandson में, grandson से great grandson में वो disease pass होती ही रहती है and that gene is called as a Y-linked or a Hollandric gene. For example, we just talked about it. You have hypertrichosis, excessive growth of hair on the pinna of the ear. तो pinna of the ear पे बहुत ज़्यादा बाल आ जाते हैं, which is called as hypertrichosis, and that is a Hollandric gene, and that will get inherited from male to the next generation male, to the next generation male, to the next generation male, and that disease will keep on passing from one generation to the other, male to male to male to male to male. And what are such genes called as? Y-linked genes, also called as Hollandric genes. So I hope you all have understood this concept well. Please read up this part well. Any doubts in the Zoom session, we'll take care of it. Okay? God bless you. Take care.